Hi, it's Sarah, and I wanted to do a quick video on why you should watch the 13 Reasons Why. I actually wanted to write a blog post, but I haven't got time today, and I really want to get this information out there. So 13 Reasons Why is a new show out on Netflix, and let me tell you, teenagers are loving this show, but not just teenagers. I think adults are getting obsessed with it too. It is in essence a story or show about it's actually based on a book, but it's about a girl who commits suicide, and she leaves these tapes that give 13 reasons why. Now, I know it sounds like really macabre, and like, why do I want to watch a show about suicide? But it's actually super, super interesting, and most of it, I think, is quite light. And I think it deals with some very, very serious issues in a really thoughtful way. So firstly, this is one of the only shows that I've watched that deals with suicide in a way that is sort of thoughtful, quite brutal, but really, really makes you think. And what it makes you think about is the things that you do and the things you don't do, basically to others or yourself. So it makes you think about those small things that you might say or those small things that you might do, and what is the consequence of those. And it makes you also question the small things that you do yourself or don't do yourself that could have maybe helped you or hindered you more. So throughout this entire series, you're constantly questioning, like, why would that affect her? Could she have done something about that? And what's the consequence of that? And you also see how tiny, tiny things can snowball so much. So lots of these things that seem sort of irrelevant and pretty unimportant weren't to her. And I was having a conversation actually with my 16-year-old last night, who's not as far through the series as I am. I finished it. She's on about episode 9. She said, I can't understand why she commits suicide. There's nothing really bad that happens to her. And what a great conversation I was able to have through that. Now, something really bad does happen to her towards the end, but I think what you see is how the little things were almost as important as the big things in this. So it really does make you question. And it also makes you question responsibility, consequences, and the impact of our actions, which is something that I think is really, really hard to get young people to think about. But this show does it really, really well. And it deals with all sorts of mental illness challenges, from the main character herself to some of the other characters. It deals with sexual assault. It deals with challenges about sexuality. It deals with so many things that are up for young people now, but actually it doesn't neatly tie them in a bow, which is what I love about it. It doesn't leave you with answers, it leaves you with questions. And I think a show that leaves you with questions about such an important topic is something that we should all be watching. So I urge you now to watch this show yourself. If you work with young people or have a teenager, watch it. If you can watch it with them, all the better. I just can't wait till my daughters are back home for the Easter holiday and they've both finished watching this, and we can have a real talk about, what did you learn about this? Because, we think, we're often asking, why did someone commit suicide? What an awful thing to do. And this show is constantly asking that question and showing that actually it's super, super complicated, and that the ways people reach out for help are often different than we think. And that along the way, there were so many people, if they'd have acted in a little bit of a different way, could have helped her. So I highly recommend it. Please do go off and watch it. Take care. Bye.